Ni hao, motherfuckers. It might not have been your fault. Childhood trauma. Physically, mentally abused. James Charles hasn't posted in a while. It's gonna be kind of fucking sad. But it sure is your goddamn responsibility. And I'm gonna first start this by saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry it is your responsibility. Because it's gonna take a lot of goddamn healing. But that's what this channel is for, boys. Welcome back to Illegal Therapy. A quick update. The clothing brand that's gonna be tied to this channel, this stuff, I've never put in so much passion in my life into something, man. You thought that cookbook was a thing? Fuck that cookbook. This shit, oh my god, man. And if it doesn't work, if it's not clothing, if it's not, you bet your ass I'm gonna make it work, brother. I'm gonna fucking make it work, man. Love you, boys. Okay, this quote, you guys have heard me say that it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility all the time. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is coming up because recently, over probably the past couple weeks to a month, I haven't been following my own advice. Okay? Tough pill to swallow. A lot of the painful issues that have happened into my life, depression, breakups, James Charles new video.com. It's because I am playing the victim. I am being, I am victimizing myself and not taking action to change. Okay? So, for example, we always talk about relationships. Last relationship, if I had to boil down to one huge thing that I would want to correct in future relationships, is I would lean on the person. I wouldn't just lean on the person. I would rely the person to be my cope, to be my comfort for all my personal issues. Okay? I would, in my head, tell myself narratives, and this is not relationships anymore, in life, last month, okay? I'm getting stressed, I'm getting overwhelmed, and I'm thinking, woe is me. I would play the biggest, I don't even want to get into it, because it makes me, kind of pissed thinking about it. Huge victim mentality, and just the toughest pill to swallow, guys, is not only is it unattractive for other people, but it's unattractive to the world. It's unattractive to what you want in life, okay? The law of attraction. Life is not gonna give you what you're needing, what you're wanting. How do I say this? If you keep putting the responsibility on other people to change. Okay? Let me give a better example. The videos I've been posting, they've been getting fucking exhausting, boys. Doing the daily series and 2 YouTube videos, it's been so exhausting. Seriously, oh my god. To the point where I'm being oh, you know what? They just don't want me to win. It's the algorithms. They just don't want me to win. But then I almost become a little frustrated, a little bratty, a little bitch, I'm fine, but I'm just gonna keep doing it, it's gonna work. No. So at that point, it's it might not have been my fault that people don't like the new content, but it sure is my responsibility, if I want to make a successful business in that new style, to fucking put in the tricks and stuff and not be a little bitch. Same as if you're in a relationship and it might not be your fault. This is where I'm trying to get with. This is the big one for a lot of people, and I'm noticing it not only sometimes in myself, I still have those triggers, but in other people. I'm not gonna get into the anyways, it might not be your fault that you've developed an anxious attachment style, an avoidant attachment style. It might not be your fault. You know, it might be like as a kid, you know, some shit happened and you were raised in a very inconsistent way by your parents, and maybe you were abused and it was horrible and you've been through these horrible relationships and stuff. So that might not be your fault, and it's not your fault, bro. But it sure is your fucking responsibility to not make it your partner's responsibility to heal that shit. They can assist you by just being a good person, but if you're just like putting it all on them, well, how the hell is that relationship gonna ever work out? That other person's gonna start fucking getting that, you know, anxiety. I mean, of course, you know, some big things can happen, and that's very different, and that's called leaning on somebody. But hey, bro, like, if you're just constantly getting fucking triggered all the time by things and whatever, and you're trying to fucking, like, make that other person, like, text you a shit ton more or something to make you feel reassured, or you're, like, trying to make that person, you know, they have to act a certain way to make you feel safe and change them so you feel a little bit more comfortable. Come on. I hate to say it, and I'm saying it more to younger Damo. You're being a little fucking baby, man. Same with, like, friends, too. They're not your parents. They can totally do it, and some people just naturally do it. But, like, at that point, like, why are you in a relationship with that person? You need to go heal your own shit. Or, like, why are you even friends with that person? Like, you're trying to change them so much. You're trying to, what are you, fucking build a bitch? Like, build a best friend? The fuck is this? Come on, man. So what do you do? How do you get out of this? Well, one, you gotta fucking, hey, you gotta man the fuck up and realize it's time to change. You gotta want to change, okay? You gotta want to change. And then basically, it's you have to learn how to self-reassure, self-soothe. So, for example, I get extremely triggered in relationship. I don't say triggered, but I get very fucking anxious through, you know, the not my fault thing is like how I was raised, plus past relationships. So maybe that's not my fault. The problem is I'll get triggered by shit. I'll feel anxious all the time. But now imagine if I'm just like texting my girlfriend like, hey, like, I'm like all the time, like, I'm feeling anxious, reassure me. I'm feeling anxious, reassure me. I'm really anxious, reassure me. I'm putting the responsibility on them, and then they're like, let's say they're like, oh, fine, okay, and they do it, and then now I'm not even addressing my own problems. I'm just walking in life. God damn, bro, they deserve to fucking leave, man. The fuck is that, man? And imagine that shit happened to you, bro. Imagine you're dating some chick, okay. Now imagine this, and then like 24/7. She's like, you gotta act like this way, and you just have to walk on these fucking eggshells around this person, and you have to completely change yourself. No. So I'm not saying fight those things in silence. You can have your boys, your brothers, your therapist, whatever, help you through these issues in your life. So I'm not saying, but I think it's just very powerful. I'm trying to go back to this, to put the responsibility on yourself when it comes to big problems that have happened in your life. And of course, it's case by case, it's situational. But yes, how do you reassure yourself and self-soothe? I'm going to give you only one tip, because the best thing my therapist has ever taught me, and genuinely it helps. It takes a lot of reps to learn this. It's like the 405 of whatever. But you'll get there eventually. But you picture your younger self. Like, this is like so before you even go into like a triggering environment, whatever, it's either a relationship or maybe your work stresses the fuck out of you or stuff, and you're putting responsibility on your boss or something to reassure that you're a good employee or all this shit. Before, like, right now, before you even go in, I want you guys to picture what age are you and what do you look like when I say like the weakest version of you? The version of you don't like the little boy version. For me, I'm picturing when I was... First image that comes up, I'm like 5 or 6 years old. I have this like big smile with a couple fucking teeth missing, and I'm like... you know, like getting bullied by my best friends in school, and I feel like so weak and so defeated. Picture that kid, okay? Now what I want you guys to picture is you giving that kid a big fucking hug like an older brother. Like, I love you, buddy. Like a big hug. you know? And then I want you to practice. I know it sounds weird. Practice being like, hey man, like you're good enough as just a human being. Practice that. And then now when you get into situations, and I know it's gonna be weird, but like let's say you get extremely triggered, you're extremely anxious about something in life. Take a step back, big deep breath into your testicles. And then picture that kid, and whatever the situation is, like reassure that kid. Give that kid what you wish the other person was giving to you. You know what I mean? Like let's say you're in a relationship, you guys are, I don't know, you guys are arguing, and then I don't know. Oh no, let's say you got a super crazy anxious attachment style, and your partner hasn't texted you back in 3 hours or something, you know, and you're like, oh, are they dead? Or are they cheating on me? Picture that kid, hold that kid, and be like, no, they're probably doing this, or like even if they are cheating on you, what can you really do? It's like it's okay. I love you. Give yourself that self-love, because I think when you have a huge reaction to something that's like an overreaction compared to like the rest of the world, it's because you're lacking something. You're in need of something, so you have to give yourself that need. Because if you're just relying on other people to give you the needs for the rest of your life, are you really even living? No, other people are living for you, and that's not what we do here. All right, interpret it how you will. Bye, guys. Love you. I need you guys. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm so hyped to work right now. Bye.